We always love catching up with locals like Emma Smith, showing us where to go on lay days. Paul Evans, our co-commentator, disappeared on a lay day first thing in the morning. Didn't even leave a note.
Very close.
And a solid one for C.Simmers on the takeoff.
Love watching Katie go fast, just establishing that low stance to get through that little whitewater section. Just S-ing her way, waiting for this wave to stand up. I mean, you anticipated as you're riding this wave that it's just going to hit that shallow section. Now she gets busy off the top there. Stays low. She's kind of waiting for it. 2 miles here. Tucks in the barrel. Oh, just gets pinched right there.
This is what happened during the break. Katie and Caroline both getting started, starting with Caralupo's wave, Jesse.
Yeah, let's see what happens here. Looks like the wave's a little bit fading, but it's probably going to double up down the line. As you can see, she takes her time, highlines a little bit. That's when the wave starts to stack up. Nice tight carve in the pocket. Gets up and vertical, and that's the advantage that goofy footers are going to have. Control that speed a little bit better and get more aggressive. So taking advantage of that, Caroline, first goofy to hit the water. The energy of the bottom of the wave is actually beating the top part, so it's hard for her to actually find a critical section.
This is one of those situations where Caroline knows she has a huge opportunity to put herself in the right side of the final five if she can get past C.Simmers today. Wide open face for the Californian. Finds the pocket again. Little wrapping carve, and you can tell by her body language there she was just going through the paces, not committing to the end section. Opening ride at 2.83 as she got clamped in the barrel on a beautiful wave. Can adapt with her speed and lines really well out here. Here's Caroline now. Starts off with a higher line, now to the mid face, and she will connect really well on her backhand. Now just pacing down the stretch. She's a little bit behind, so she's gonna have to step off. One good turn, but we're thinking that's going to be a throwaway very soon, Jesse.
I mean, I hope so. I expect them to actually. I mean, that wave was actually great. It's just kind of been a little bit faster than she expected and had a few rips throughout before that wave closed out. So it's going to be important for them to slow themselves down in that inside section.
Last to Caroline, that was the major turn there, Rosie.
Yeah, this one was looking nice for Caroline. A little bit of fins free action there. She gets a little drift.
And she's still only 23. As we look at a great opportunity for C.Simmers. One of the best styles in the game. Just enjoying this little racetrack. Seeing a big section approaching, so real smart with her decision to just race it, then throws a big arc down the line. Wall's really starting to go. Draws it down the open face again. Well-paced maneuvers for Simmers. Pushes out in front, now into an inside bowl. That's looking to open wide. High line, and she will step out of there. As she didn't see any potential of hitting it or pulling into the closeout.
Carves out the back, takes her time. As she goes through that first section, it's running down that wave, running down the line, that wave, and beautiful rail work to start off. Stretched out long carves, but the problem is we've seen it already with Tyler Wright, and you really need to fade when that wave starts to double up in order for you to get the barrel. So she starts to fade right there, but not enough, and you can see the wave start to barrel behind her. That section got nice and wide, and she could have.
That inside section is elusive. It seemed like it closed out there anyway, Jesse.
Yeah, it's unfortunately for her, that wave just stretched out a little bit too much before hitting that inside section where it doubles up and it gets critical. And here was Caroline Marks on a smaller wave in size, and this wave is one of those that just doesn't really give the opportunity whatsoever. Gets very foamy right here when you think it's going to start to line up nicely, and she just has to kick out and go for another wave. But so far, a very slow scoring heat.
Youngest ever to qualify, and she's battling with C.Simmers in perfect conditions at J-Bay. Simmers laying down the rail into the pocket. High lines it off the top. Nice big bottom turn, taking advantage of a big open wall. Now with some speed, she's starting to really run towards a big section. She's got the momentum to come around the corner. She'll lay low. Whitewater is pushing her down, and she'll miss that big end section towards Impossibles. Definitely one of the fastest waves on the planet. This one's still wide open as we watch it again, Rosie.
The forward propulsion that we watch it from Katie is just so impressive, just keeping that speed, and the rail's so clean, even through the chattery sections, just linking this one, dotting the dots so well. Just such an easy read. You can tell that eye-line is facing forward. She knows she has to step on the gas as she gets around that section, and this is where she kind of just has that little bit of white water that falls on that inside rail, and just
Caroline with a decision to maybe take this wave, and she will. Goofy foot from Melbourne Beach, Florida. All patience to start. Now starting to step on the gas a bit. Big walls really starting to load up now. Nice patience before setting up her first arc. Quick tag there on the open face. Higher line, it's starting to open up for the backhand of Caralupo. She tags it quickly. Comes out of that section with a ton of speed. Can she come around the corner? She will. Arcs it. Huge airdrop. Caroline Marks pulls it off.
Yeah, it really isn't the power. You can't deny it that Caroline obviously relaying on that rail much more and throwing more water in C.Simmers. And this wave kind of reminded me of the situation of John Florence when he was going around the foam and it felt like he was too late, and it set him up perfectly for success on that barrel ride. And this is exactly what happened here. Almost feels like she's too late for the closeout section and just sets herself up on the most critical part of the wave. She airdropped out of the sky. Was a little bit lateral, but man, as critical as it gets. We're probably going to have a good look in this angle here as she approaches that second turn, then goes down the line. As she gets on top of the lip, you're going to notice the wave's going to bottom out under her, and she airdrops off the sky with the lump of the wave and comes out clean. It's going to be a massive score for Caroline Marks.
So critical, so committed. And when you're falling out of the sky like that, judges see how committed you are to that big end section turn. And Caroline feeling it, puts her hands up. Big opportunity for Katie passing the next heat. Beautiful lines, making it look so effortless. Not trying to overcook sections, letting the wave do the talking and her speed. A couple of ribs in the face here. Well, interesting to see how she lines up the end section. Loves to get really barreled. She's able to throw down a nice clean snap off the lip, arcs it under the lip again, and it's just going to race through impossibles. That's why it's got that name. It'll just take off on you right there. There are those really cool stories of surfers on crazy swells taking off at boneyards and kicking out at albatross.
I've heard that before too.
I believe those stories.
To the bottom of the point, I was like, wow, how can he do that?
Yeah, especially through impossibles there. What did you see from Katie on this one, Rosie?
Yeah, well, I definitely feel like Katie feel like the energy already. She's fired up. She knows that Caroline's just dropped that score, right? So she's having that mentality that I need to attack this wave. I need to eclipse the scores that are in my score line. And it does take a while for this wave to kind of stand up for her. She kind of goes through the motions, just S's through those fatter sections out the back. And then this wave starts to stand up for her, just attacks that lip line section. And this is where it gets a little bit more critical for her. But
for clinching scenarios for C.Simmers, if she won that, she would have been guaranteed in at that 3 spot at the moment. But right now, Caroline's making things exciting, coming from number 6 in the world and taking out current world number 3.